So Christmas is around the corner and you had plans to sew so many things, but you ran out of time and are leaning towards that gift card option now. Well, let me introduce you to this adorable little card holder here. This is going to be an easy project for you to sew. You can just use up a bunch of your scraps, and the only thing that you are going to need to have is either some Velcro or a snap kit. So I will have that linked in the description down below. Now let's jump on in and get started. Cut your exterior fabric at 8.5 inches high by 5 inches wide, as well as 3 inches high by 5 inches wide. Then use a piece of fusible fleece or just regular batting and cut that at 8.5 inches high by 5 inches wide. Then cut your lining at 6 inches high by 5 inches wide, and then 4 squares cut at 3 inches by 3 inches. And you will also need a snap kit, or if you want, you could use some Velcro. Now I have chosen to use some fusible fleece, so I'm going to fuse that to my exterior fabric, the same size cut, of course, 8.5 inches by 5 inches. Now my fusible fleece was actually too short, so I sewed 2 pieces together, which is called Franken batting, and if you want to know a little bit more about that, I will have that tutorial linked in the description below. And if you're just using regular batting, you could quilt it to your exterior fabric in whatever way that you would like. Next, grab the 4 squares that you cut and press them wrong sides together so that they're cute little triangles. Then grab your lining piece of fabric, which is the 6 inches by 5 inches piece of fabric, and lay all 4 triangles into all 4 corners, clipping them in place. Then take this to your sewing machine and sew an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance around the entire lining, starting and stopping with a backstitch. And now it's time to attach our flap. So that will be your 3 inch by 5 inch piece of fabric. Line it up along the top edge, clip it in place, and sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance down that edge, starting and stopping with a backstitch. Then give that seam a quick press open before laying it right sides on top of our exterior fabric that is attached to our fusible fleece. Clip around the entire raw edge, but make note of the bottom of your project because you do need to leave about a 3 inch opening that you will not sew across. That way you can turn your project right side out. Now along that top edge where the flap is, grab something round so that you can draw a bit of a curve on both corners and then cut away the excess fabric. Bring this to your sewing machine and sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance around the entire project, making sure to leave that 3 inch opening on the bottom. And once you've sewn this seam, then it's time to snip away the excess bulk on the corners and around those curves. Then you can reach on in and turn it right side out. Then reach on in with a point and turner tool. I actually like to use a chopstick, but I could not find mine in this moment, so I was using my pencil. And just gently push out all of those corners. Then grab your iron and give it a nice press, folding that 3 inch opening so that the flaps are nicely folded inwards. Then you will take this to your sewing machine and sew an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance across that bottom open edge. Then, once you've sewn that, you can take it back to your sewing machine again, and you can sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance around the other 3 edges. Now, to make your project even easier to fold, I like to bring it to my sewing machine and sew 2 more top stitches. One is kind of a stitch in the ditch seam, and you'll go along that sewn seam. Then the other one, I'll just fold and press a crease where the fold will be, and then I will sew along that crease as well. One more top stitch. Both of these seams you will start and stop with a backstitch. Quick interruption here. If you are enjoying this sewing tutorial, please give it that thumbs up so that YouTube knows to share this video with others. And if you're thinking, this is a great little pouch or whatever, but I'd rather just have a singular pouch, I got you. I've got a tutorial for that as well, and I will have that linked in the description down below. Now let's keep on sewing. And now it's time to add our snaps. Now, if you've chosen to do Velcro, then just sew your Velcro on at this point. However, I'm going to use snaps, and the way that I figure out exactly where I want my snap to be is I fold my project in half and then I kind of eyeball where that top snap will look nicest sitting. Then I'll use the awl and push a hole on through. Then I will grab my Sharpie and I will just push through that hole, leaving a dot on the other side, and that will give me the right spot to push my awl through for the second snap. Now, if you want a full dive into how to use one of these plastic snap kits, I have a full tutorial for that I have linked in the description down below. I have also linked to this snap kit in the description down below as well. I love using this plastic snap kit. I probably use it more than I even use my metal snap press. Let me know in the comments down below how many of these you actually ended up sewing this year. I hope that you will hit that subscribe button so you don't lose me here on YouTube. And of course, I hope that you have a very Merry Christmas. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.